Hi everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to the channel. Today's video is a bit of an experiment and one that is part of my quarterly contentment projects that I mentioned in the intro to my contentment year. And I'm so excited about this. We're going to introduce this video and I have some things to say. How many times have you heard somebody talk about their collection, their makeup collection, as minimalist? My friend Lara Likes Mascara did a video talking about minimalist makeup collections and like what that word means, but also how many of us have different definitions of minimalist and what it means to have a minimalist makeup collection. I see that here on the channel all the time, especially when I do inventories and makeup declutters. There's a variety of opinions in there. Some people tell me, Shauna, you have too much makeup, you own too many things. Other people feel differently. They feel like I do have a minimalist makeup collection, and also the approach is like, it doesn't really matter how much you have as long as you use it and you love what you have. And certainly in the grand scheme of things, what I own and the size of my collection is small, but it's like only relatively speaking to these giant makeup collections that we see on YouTube. This all got me thinking, what if I tried out the minimalist or the most minimalist makeup bag that I could get, which would be one product in every category. And like for me, that is the absolute minimalist you can get. And for a lot of people, honestly, this is what a minimalist makeup collection looks like. But there's also a lot of folks who just skip certain categories altogether. Like they don't use a setting spray, or they don't have foundation, but they just own concealer. So for the next 30 days, I'm going to be living with a minimalist makeup collection. The most minimalist that my makeup collection could be. In my eyes. And so now I'm going to be showing you the makeup products that I'm going to be including in this experiment. And so there are certain categories where I'm just allowing myself one, like we're not doing one loose powder and one pressed. So we are not doing one loose powder and one pressed. We are doing one powder, period. And when it comes to makeup to lip products, we are just going to be doing one lip liner, one lipstick, and one lip gloss. And the point of this video is like not to pander to the people here who are like, Shauna, you own too much. That's not the point. The point of this is to see what a minimalist makeup collection does for me. I have a lot of assumptions. I've assumed that there are categories that I just like cannot cut down on. This would be things like blush and lipstick, like those two in particular are some of my favorites. Right now, there are categories that I own multiple of and would be happy owning one. This I'm thinking about might be bronzer or a primer. I'm not totally sure about brows. I think there could be a day where I could get to like one, but I don't know. And there's some categories where like, I just don't know. Like, could I live with one concealer? I think I could live with one highlight, like genuinely be happy. I'm not sure about concealer. And so this is an experiment. Do I like a minimalist makeup collection? Does it make me happy? Does it frustrate me? Are there certain areas that I'm like not happy about having one thing, ones that I love? That's going to be the experiment. Hey y'all, editing Shauna here. I just wanted to add a few extra thoughts to what I was saying. I've always wanted a minimal makeup collection. This is something that I've expressed on the channel throughout the life of it so far. And this is the goal I've always kind of had in the back of my mind. But I also have never defined what that means. Like, what does a minimal makeup collection mean to me? The farthest I've gone with doing that would be to kind of give myself some number goals in terms of like number of products I'd like to own, specific makeup categories. But I also haven't done that in a while. So what I'm hoping from this experiment is to be able to set some more clear parameters on what I mean by a minimalist makeup collection and what that looks like. And so I think it could work either way, that I could do the experiment and I could love having one product per category, can be opposite. I hate just one item. It's too minimal or some kind of in between. And regardless of what the result is, like what kind of, which of those camps I fall into, that's more information for me to give myself a more clear vision. So a question or feeling that I have going into this project is whether some categories are bigger than I want, maybe a little bit bloated, because I have been enjoying buying things, or the act of buying, opposed to wanting a category that particular size. So back to the video. The only rules here is one makeup product in each category, and two, if I finish something, I can roll something else in. There's a couple of products where I think it could be conceivable where I finish something. And the point of this is that in reality, if I were to have this as my makeup collection, if I finished one thing, I would just buy another. You know, this is not about living without it, because if I finish something like concealer, which I think is possible, I wouldn't just live without concealer. You feel me? So I'm very curious to see how this goes. And I could make all the predictions that I want, but nothing is going to illuminate more than doing it. So we're going to come back in about 30 days and I'm going to share all of my thoughts about this experiment. So let's now jump into the products. Okay, before I introduce the products, I actually want to talk about why this is a quarterly contentment project. The first is that during the next 30 days, irregardless of launches, I cannot buy any new makeup because the goal is to just use these things. And I was thinking about can I play with other makeup? Can I play with other makeup? And the answer is going to be no, because this is an experiment. What if I only owned these things? And if I only own these things, then I wouldn't have other things to experiment with. So that answers that question. Why also this is a quarterly contentment project is that I'm learning about my makeup preferences and I'm just focusing on my makeup. And if this is just dragging my feet through the mud and I genuinely hate it, I'll stop it early. I have no problem with that. But I highly doubt that I'm going to hate it so much that I'm going to want to finish early. So I'm getting to know my makeup in a new way. I'm doing an experiment, which is fun. And I'm kind of I'm gamifying my makeup in a new way. The focus here is on what I have. And this is a new way for me to appreciate what I have. And I really enjoy creating new challenges for myself that push me in new ways. You may also wonder, how will this affect your project pan? Many of these products are already in my project pan. And if I was debating between one product or another, I usually chose a product pan item. That's not the case hard and fast though. So let's talk about what I picked. First up is my favorite primer of the moment, the Pure 4-in-1 Correcting Primer. This should last the whole 30 days. I love this, and I think it goes well with the foundation that I picked. I think it makes my skin look great. The next product that I have, the foundation, is going to be the Quo foundation. I did have a couple to choose from. I've really been loving I don't know where it is, but I've really been loving the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. That is so beautiful, but it really is a mini and it won't last the full time. It felt better to pick the Quo foundation. I love the coverage on this. It is a little bit dewier, or it's one of my most dewy foundations, but it should work fine for this period. The reason why I picked this as well, there were other contenders like the Merit foundation. As you know, I love that. And if I was just doing, if I could pick two, I would probably also pick the Merit, or maybe I would pick one of my more mattifying and the Merit. The reason why I say that is because most of my time, I'm spending at home, kind of everyday types of scenarios, but there are things like date nights, and more special scenarios that happen every month that the Merit foundation wouldn't cut it for me. And My partner and I have been doing more of those recently, and I would want, like, yeah, I would rather have this one in, and I do like it every day, like day to day, and it blends out so fast. So the Quo one is in. For concealer, I don't think this is going to be a huge surprise. The NARS concealer, this is one that I'm not sure will last the full 30 days, but I love it and I absolutely want it in. Like, I'm ready and willing to take that risk. For powder, there was a choice here. I was really torn between my NYX and my Maybelline. I chose the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat. This is my tried and true favorite powder, so I felt like it belonged in here. Right now, we do have some pan, and if it's my only powder, there's a chance that I could finish this in 30 days. I don't know if I will, but there's a chance. So when it comes to bronzer, I just picked my NARS bronzer. I'm like not super fussy with bronzers. It's working fine. I could have picked one of the other ones, and because I just kind of don't have strong feelings about any of them, I'm just fine putting in the Project Pan bronzer. Also, for blush, this one is like the only cheat, if you will. And I'm going to be using the Hourglass palette for both blush and highlight. So I have the highlight here, and then I'm going to use the two blushes simply because I kind of mix them most days. Not kind of, I do mix them like 9 out of 10 times. So I'm just going to use them both. And honestly, if I just put one in, I would be mixing it, and you know, I won't be touching the powders because I already have a powder. I'll be using the blushes and the highlight. The Hourglass highlight in here is actually my favorite highlight that I currently own. So that's going to be a joy. So for brows, I put in my Boy Brow. I think I like this just a little bit more like day to day. For eyeliner, I think this is okay because this is my project. So I have like one regular eyeliner and then one like waterline eyeliner. To me, like it would be different if I had, let's say, like a black and a purple and I wanted to use them up here. In my opinion, the like pink, beige, nude eyeliners are like a separate category in itself because they're like for highlighting. So I have these two. For mascara, I have my L'Oreal Telescopic. I'm actually running low on this and I'm noticing it's kind of getting dry. So if it's my only mascara, I genuinely don't know if it will last the 30 days. And if I have to roll it in, then like I'll let you know, or roll something else in, I'll let you know. For lip products, for lip gloss, I have the Tower 28. This is the lip gloss in coconut. And I'm also going to roll in, or I'm going to include the Bite lipstick. I was actually choosing between the Bite lipstick and then Modesty. Modesty is probably my favorite lipstick of the moment. I think I like it just a little bit more than Bite. And so when I was choosing between the two, I chose the Bite lipstick over Modesty. And this is the reason why I chose the Tower 28 gloss. I was initially thinking I would put in the Maybelline lifter glosses, but because this is such an opaque gloss, like it is thick, not gloss, lipstick, it is thick. It has coverage. I wanted something that's just like a little bit more sheer. Yeah, more sheer that will give a bit of a different look. And then for lip liner, I have my Ofra lip liner in Silk. And then for eyeshadow, I'm doing something that might surprise you. So I guess this is going to be like an update for the Project Pan. I am putting in my Self-Made palette. This is my most favorite palette that I own because you get such a variety of looks with this thing. Yeah, so I'm going to put this in, which means that the Natasha Denona palette isn't really going to get any use. So the Natasha Denona palette is going to be in for February as well, unless I change my mind down the road and I'm like, you know what, I just don't want it for this time of year. I'll pick something new, but I've only used it twice. So I think it's only fair that it stays in an extra month if I'm not going to be using it for the rest of the month. So I just want to add a bit of a I've changed my mind on something here. Because there's been quite a few days between when this was filmed and when it's going to go up. And I initially said that I was going to just exclusively use my self-made palette, but I have changed my mind. I am really in the zone of I've really been loving the Natasha Denona Glam palette. And if I'm loving something so much, it just makes sense to use it. So that one is going to go into. Maybe it's not minimalist in the absolute sense of the word, but I have felt myself for the last couple of days actually missing the palette and wanting to use it, and having to be this, I guess disappointed is what I'm trying to say. Disappointed that I can't use it for 30 days. So if I'm loving on something so much, I think it just should be in the project. So those are all of my projects, and I will be updating you early in February. The project has already started by the time you're watching this video, so it should be coming update on how it went will be coming in February. So this is both an experiment, but also a wintry kind of makeup bag. I typically do my makeup bags every quarter, and I waited and didn't do that makeup bag so I could do this first. I think for winter, I might do one makeup bag for a couple of months, February and March, might even go to April, who knows, and then do a spring one around April or May. So that's everything. That's the video. I'm so excited to live with this experiment and report back. Let me know your thoughts on this experiment, and if you're going to do it with me. I would love to have some of y'all do the experiment with me, and I would love to hear your thoughts in about 30 days as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.